Hey, it's Jason. Welcome back to WordPress Foundations. Again, this is Module 1, an Introduction to WordPress, the making of a great blog. So in the previous video, I talked about the various kinds of blogs, and what we're going to be focusing on here is like the informational blog. And again, the reason we want to focus on an informational blog is it provides so much value. By creating an informational blog where you're teaching people some concepts, some ideas, some technique, helping people get through and solve problems, not only are you generating a lot of goodwill in the community by actually helping people, especially in exchange for nothing. You're not asking for money. You're not spamming people with ads or AdSense or anything. You're just providing real value. You're helping people. By doing this, not only do you build the goodwill, you also become the expert, the authority, the person, the expert, the celebrity inside your niche, your area. I mean, if I wasn't doing this kind of stuff, who knows where I'd be right now or the kind of stuff I have. Like, I mean, just last week, I got this fantastic, super sweet Onkyo audio home theater receiver. It's a 7.2 receiver, illuminated remote, and it has like, I don't know, 7 or 8 HDMI plug-in ports. I mean, it supports the 3D. If you've seen the new 3D Blu-ray stuff where you can put on the little glasses and you watch 3D movies, this thing supports that. And I didn't pay a penny for it. I got it for free. Why did I get it for free? Because I write a lot of really good reviews online, and people contact me. These communities contact me. They're like, hey, I've seen your blog. It's really nice. Would you mind reviewing this for us? We're getting ready to come out with it. We're getting ready to launch this. So I get a lot of stuff that I definitely wouldn't get, and I get a lot of stuff before it even comes out. I got some books that won't even be out in the marketplace for another 2 or 3 months. I get DVDs, movies, Blu-rays, whatever. It's really cool. And the reason I do this is because I add value to the marketplace. I don't even have to ask for this stuff. I didn't even know this was going to be a side effect or a result. I just blogged about a lot of cool stuff, trying to help people. And next thing I know, I'm getting contacted by authors, you know, people that own these stores, and so on and so forth. Like, hey, we reviewed this. We'll give you this. I'm like, sure, cool, why not? Of course, some companies are not so nice. Some of them are a little mean. And by a little mean, I mean, they're like, hey, we're going to send you this item, but we want it back. And I'm like, no, thank you. So, I mean, you can keep it if you want. I mean, someone was going to give me this really cool steering wheel. It was it's for a video game. It costs it's pretty crazy. It's like a whole contraption. And they want me to ship it back to them. I was like, don't even bother sending it to me. I don't want to review this thing if I got to send it back, because it's going to be way too much of a hassle. And then some other company contacted me, and they're like, oh, no, you can keep it. Don't worry about it. And it was this really nice leather steering wheel thing. I don't even use it, but it's pretty cool. So, again, getting off track here. The point of this video is to discuss the common terms. So, if you know what these terms are, you might want to go ahead and skip this video. There's not going to be much content in it. Basically, I'm going to describe what a post is, what a page is, category, tags, comments, trackbacks, permalinks, themes, widgets, and plugins. Now, the reason I'm teaching you this is so you can speak the language, because if you don't understand what these terms are, it's kind of like you're in a Star Trek convention. People are speaking Klingon, and maybe you don't speak Klingon, so you don't really understand what it is they're talking about. So once you learn these basic terms, you can go ahead and interact with other bloggers, and it's going to like open up your mind to all these other possibilities and terms. Another thing is, if you own this little small business and you want to maybe outsource your blogging, you want to have like maybe somebody contact somebody on Craigslist, you want to have college student, neighbor down the street, whatever. You want to have them blogging for you and pay them a little money so you don't have to do this. You can still keep your site up and keep generating the goodwill. This is just the terms that you need to know so you can go ahead and explain this, or if the person tries to explain it to you. So go ahead and follow the video. If you don't need to know these terms, go ahead and skip on to the next one. So now let's talk about some of these terms you might hear, because otherwise, you might be a little lost. So let's start with post. Post is the content you create. When you visit a blog or read an article or click on a link and view a page, what you're reading is called a post. When you create content for your blog, you do so by writing posts. I've created a whole module on how to write content, and we'll talk about that near the end of the course. Next is a page. Pages differ from posts in a couple of ways. First, pages are usually static. They're not updated often, and you only really have a handful of them on your site. Examples would be an About Us page, a Contact Us page, maybe a Store Hour page or something if you have like a real physical store. Second, pages do not have tags, nor do they have categories. And for the most part, you don't allow comments or trackbacks on them. Next is categories and tags. This is basically how you organize your content. Think of these terms more as subject and keyword. For example, if I were to write a post called "How to Get Rid of Your Dog's Fleas While Giving Him a Bath in Less than 10 Minutes," exciting stuff, right? I would categorize this post as grooming, and I would tag it as fleas and possibly maybe even bathing. See, the goal being is to make sure that your information is as easy to find as possible. You can also use subcategories. So in this fictional blog, right, if this was a blog on pet grooming, like dogginggroomingsecrets.com or whatever, the main category might be dog, while the subcategory would be grooming. Now let's talk about comments. Comments are one of the major building blocks of a blog. Comments help take your blog post and make it truly interactive. You can post up a question at the end of a blog post like, so what are your favorite ways to get rid of fleas off your dog? And your readers can go ahead and post a comment answering that question. They can help you solve a problem you had, or maybe help some other reader find more information on that subject or topic. It takes a static blog post and turns it into an ongoing conversation, providing additional depth to your original post. It builds community, relationships, and trust. Now let's talk about trackbacks. Comments are left by users who read your blog. Trackbacks are left by other bloggers to your blog. The way this works is as follows. Somebody visits your blog, they enjoy your article, and they write a blog post on their blog, which links back to you and sends out what they call a trackback. Now, when someone visits your blog, they will see the trackback as well as comments. And by clicking on the trackback, they can see the other blog and the information it provides as well as yours, providing more information to your reader and helping your reader develop relationships online. I mean, you know, say you go to somebody's website on dog grooming and they have this really cool tip. You can make a blog post on your blog. It's like, hey, I ran across this site. It has this really cool tip. I really like it. And here's some other stuff you can do too, blah, blah, blah. And you link to that link. And then when somebody visits that other blog, they're going to see the little trackback and they can click it and they can go to your blog. And if somebody's reading your blog, they can click it and learn more about that blog. It's kind of cool. It just helps build relationship and develop your community. Now let's talk about permalinks. Permalinks are, as the name may suggest, permanent links for your blog post. So whenever you publish a blog post, it has its own permanent link. Ideally, that link is what we call a pretty link or a pretty URL. What this means is if you wrote your blog post on how to get rid of fleas, then the permalink may look something similar to dogsite.com/get rid of fleas. The ugly version of this would be, dogsite.com/?P=4. I mean, what does that mean, right? You can't optimize that. It's crazy. So I'm going to show you how to set up pretty URLs in, I think, module 3. So don't worry about that right now. Now let's talk about theme. What is a theme? Well, a theme is a pre-configured design or layout for your website, meaning you already have the content. All you need to do is change its theme, which is the way it looks. You can have a brand new looking website ready to go in less than 60 seconds with a theme. When you're using the self-hosted version of WordPress, which is the WordPress.org version, you have access to hundreds of free themes that you can install in just seconds. All you got to do is just go into the dashboard and click a button. I show you this in one of the later modules. Next is widgets. Now, widgets allow you to adjust the sidebars on your website. In blogging speak, whenever you visit a website, you'll notice the main content area, which is usually where the blog post is located, and usually to the right or to the left, or maybe on both sides, there's going to be this thing called a sidebar. In it, you'll usually find on a well-designed site something like a search box, a website opt-in, which is a place where you put in your email address for some free content, which I'll talk about and teach you how to do later, and maybe even a whole bunch of ads. Next thing that's up is plugins. Now, plugins are very important. Plugins allow you to extend the functionality of your blog. As of creating this video, there's like well over 8,000 different plugins that you can download and install for free, and it just takes seconds. You just click one little button. There's no skill required to install these things. If you can press a few buttons, you can completely overhaul your websites in seconds. It's amazing. And throughout this course, I'm going to be recommending several different plugins. I highly recommend installing them once you find out about them, and then see how they work out for you. So in this section, we went over the different type of blog, showcased the one that this course is mostly going to be focused on, which again is the info blog, and we went over 10 must-know blogging terms. That's again post, page, categories, tags, comments, trackbacks, permalinks, theme, widgets, and plugins. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.